Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. He conquers the markets, he turns water into wine. His timing flows where chaos turns divine. Cut sharp enough to time the sign. Yeah, this man's no common trader. He commands the market's numbers. We call him Chef Bailey. The market bends beneath his flame. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire. Our edges cut from the profile, sharp and clean by every buyer. Markets move, they twist and swing. Every tick can burn or bring. Ryan keeps calm, he trusts his thing. The charts tell him everything. But when T1 makes ding, 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 the futures spread their hidden wing. And he is ready for anything. Vic's still looking like a restless king. Fear and greed run through the wire. Candles climb and then expire.
Ready to stop guessing and start growing as a trader? Welcome to Vici Trading Solutions, a community built by real traders for serious learners. We don't just post trades, we teach the why behind every move. With a full education section and daily breakdowns, you'll start seeing the market like a pro. You won't be trading alone. Inside the Vici Discord, you're surrounded by committed traders, from futures pros to rising crypto specialists, all learning and winning together. Gain first access to our exclusive indicators, powerful tools used daily by hundreds across TradingView and beyond. These aren't gimmicks, they're built to sharpen your edge. Each morning, our founder posts a full trading plan for the S&P 500 or NASDAQ and calls out the levels he's watching live. No fluff, just clarity. Education, tools, community. Whether you trade futures, stock, or crypto, Vici gives you the foundation and firepower to grow. Join Vici, trade smarter, conquer the markets.
Hey, welcome back, everyone. Happy Monday. Quite a day today. They actually picked up on the squeeze from Friday. So, they love the push. That's what the bulls be doing. And we talked about this in the weekend review, how they could possibly come up a little bit more on SPX, and we're going to get into that. But first, as you can tell, my background looks a little different. So I'm officially settled into my folks' house, and I wanted to just thank each and every one of you guys who reached out to me regarding my father. There was at least a dozen DMs I got just making sure that he was okay and that everything went smooth. And we made it through. He's good. He's home, and I have moved in for a month. And as you can see, we've got a new background. And so I brought my setup here, as some of you might have saw from the post, just getting a little comfortable. And so it's business as usual. So excited to keep moving forward. And I wanted to thank you guys all. It meant a lot to me that everybody reached out and concerned about my dad, which was just awesome because this is a great group of people. And, these are the small things that keep me pushing. And I appreciate you guys because a lot of you guys don't know me personally, but I feel like we do because we work together, we make money together, and you trust me with the analysis, and thank you for caring. So it means a lot. With that being said, I actually have another announcement to make, which I really, really thank you guys. And I'll go ahead and just throw it up here right now because this is, since I'm getting all mushy and talking about feelings and such, let's just do it right now. Let's see, where's it at? Here it is. So I got the announcement today that we have officially moved up in the official finance ratings. We are number 93 on Substack out of, I don't know how many thousands of finance publishers that are out there. So I was really, really happy to see this today. This came as a surprise at 10 o'clock this morning. I wanted to share this with all you guys because this is really you guys. You guys have made this happen. You have trusted me with the analysis. All I do is just show up every single day and keep the consistency going and give you my absolute best every day in these trade plans. And you have made it I'm just so happy. I really appreciate all this. And I hope that you guys are too, because this just drives me to continue to push harder every single day to make sure I bring you guys the best possible. What's up, Rick? Trades Reversals. That's my man. I see you on Substack all the time. You got a great publication. Sandra, Gavin, Just Zig. Welcome, guys. There is a lot of people on Substack and X and YouTube right now, and I didn't see the names pop in for whatever reason. So that's all the names I got. But thank you, everyone, for showing up. For this is truly a meaningful moment for me. So between my pops and making the top 100, and we're just growing every day. The exponential curve of this growth is incredible, and it's actually taking off more so than I ever imagined. This became just a little hobby, and it's turned into something just awesome. So thank you guys so much for that. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and just start this as usual. Please make sure that you follow me across all my socials, Ryan Bailey Edge, YouTube, Substack, X, and TradingView. I got some new indicators on there. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it, brother. That really means a lot because your work's good too. Thank you so much. Got some indicators on here on the Ryan Bailey Edge on TradingView. Check it out for day traders. It's great. We have one that I think everybody should have. It's free. Just get on there and take it. It does the overnight highs and lows, the initial balances, 30-second opening range. It's really just draws all the critical lines that you need: yesterday's close, yesterday's open, etc. Stuff that I use every day, and that a lot of guys in the room were always asking me like, "Hey, what's this level?" Listen, I'll just make it for you. Take it. There's a couple on there that you guys can have, and if you are a Substack subscriber, hit me up. I've got the 80% edge rule on there, which is all profile based. We trade at least once a week. It's a money shot. It's always good for 15 to 10 points. Love that trade. And it's yours. If you're a subscriber, hit me up. You can have it. It's yours. So, spreading the love. And I've got some new stuff coming up. My personal life has just been a little chaotic lately with my pops, and we don't live close. And so I've been trying to make this happen, and the transition is officially complete. So I will have some time as I'm sitting here to get some new stuff up for you guys. And I'm looking forward to bringing you some new tools. I've already got some things working. So let's get right into it. So this was an interesting day. We actually led off on Friday. We had the incredible Globex overnight sweep into the weekly that we talked about at 67.61 and 67.65. That was the big daily weekly combo that I was preaching about. And so, we had an insane pump on Friday, over 200 points, really just squeezed the bejesus out of anyone who was short. And lo and behold, that is what this market is about, right? Especially the indices, they love to sweep, they love to squeeze. That is such an institutional play. And, what is going to happen? Well, it's a great question. And I'll be frank, after Friday's big move, I have really spotted out some levels. And by the way, I had a great turnout on this weekend review. Just an amazing amount of views. I had tons of likes, comments. You guys are really loving this work, and I appreciate the feedback. I just wanted to say that, and it really encourages me to keep going. And, believe it or not, every little bit counts from you guys. Just a simple like, little heart, little retweet, and it keeps me pumping. So here's the deal. I was a little unsure that we were going to continue to rally this morning when we came into the market, even to the point where I actually put out a pre-market plan that I usually don't do this on Monday, but the plan had played out so well. Well, first off, before I zoom in on that, let's talk about this right here. And this is why. And then I'll show you the pre-market plan. And this is why it's so important to remain nimble when we're trading. I don't want to say that our bias shifts, all day, every day, but when new information comes into play, you have to be ready to shift and pivot. And that's exactly what we're going to get into right now. And I talked about this in the weekend review. I said, listen, we have a massive weekly at 69.77. This is my big watch level, right? Watch this level. I basically said, if this plays, looked for 69.77 to play and get back below the 64 pivot. And if so, we'll crumble down. Well, you guys know the 64 pivot was the massive short we took last week. We pulled 80 points out of that, and then it ended up falling like another 100 points the next day. I mean, it's just a monster. And this is really the above below level that we've been all about. And so when we came up in here last night in the Sunday move, we smacked this, and then they got below the 64, and then you can even see they back tested it, and they fell all the way down to 23. I mean, this was like 50 points in the overnight. So, I'm looking at this when we come in and like, damn, we played the weekly and we're underneath this significant pivot. I was kind of low-key bearish to start the day. Now, obviously, when I show you the plan that I put out this morning, I'm never rigid in my plan, right? It's always, if we get above this, this changes. If we get below that, that changes. So as traders, that's how we have to be. Information changes, things change, and we just have to be flexible. And so I wanted to show you exactly how I played this today and how I led the guys in the room and basically said, hey, I was wrong, right? And because I'm not always right, but what I do know for a fact is if we get over X and things change, I'm wrong. It's time to switch our bias. We just, boom, we get in it, and just don't get locked into it. Don't get married to your bias. That's the biggest thing right now. So coming into the pre-market, I actually sent this newsletter out, not newsletter, but in the chat, you guys may have noticed this. Sometimes if you put something in a chat, I can actually click, like send as an email. You guys may have got this morning, and that's okay. I put it in the Discord room as well because it still played out perfect, right? So here was my thinking when we came into the day, right? So after a perfect hit of 69.77 weekly, last night, the market saw a significant reaction of over 50 points, and we were trading below our critical juncture, which was, for me, was the 64, 65, whatever you want to call it. So again, the critical major levels to watch was the 69.64, above below line for intraday bias. Obviously, you can probably figure it out real quick. When we moved over that, I immediately shifted my bias, right? Okay, because that's the plan, right? So, we also had a bullish reclaim of 23. Well, that was the level that we played in the low, as you can see right here. This was the 23. It was also the 50-day moving average, by the way. So my original anticipation was they would sweep this level and reclaim, right? So that's why it says bullish reclaim 69.23. Well, all they did was retest it, which automatically made me see this, W in the making on the 15 and 5-minute time frame. So I just kind of waited and wanted to just let the market kind of show us because, I'm also, when I'm uncertain of something, I always wait because it's best to just chill and let the market show us. We've got plenty of time. But more importantly, what I do is I also pivot to the VIX and look to see what the VIX is doing. Well, the VIX was holding our major monthly pivot. Where was it at? It's in a different slide, but it was holding our major monthly pivot. So I waited to see what that was going to do at the open, right? But here was the actionable plan. As long as we remain under 69.64 major pivot, the immediate momentum favors to the downside. Right. So, and because we were coming off a weekly, we were under the 64, I was a little like, I don't know. I don't really know what's going to happen. Right. Like, I just don't know. Now, we know from the weekend review that we talked about the SPX never lost the leg, and that's going to come up here real soon. So we'll get into that. All right. So that was that. Now, here is the VIX post that I was talking about. So here we go. Here's this right out of the weekend review. And this shows you the whole day. But essentially, we played this right here, and we were popping up actually after the market opened on VIX because we started to pull down in the morning, as you guys are fully aware. So, I even said we're sitting on the 1744 monthly. It looks like the VIX is giving ES quite a bit of relief, but this was the next major area to monitor for above below. So, that being said, I hit the weekly and I'm like, okay, we're holding this monthly, and I'm just trying to put 2 to 2 together. However, let's go ahead and take a look at this now. Okay, so this is the post-market. Let's see. Is this the one I want to do? Let's see. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, so here you go. So off the gate, as you can see, we started to retest this 23, which was right out of that email that I sent to everybody in the morning. What's up, nobody? Sorrow. Pleasure to see you guys. Glad you're here. So as you can see, this was the 23 that I called out right here. And I told everybody right at 9:40, the market has been open 10 minutes. Once I saw this retest, I said, I think it is possible to see 7,004 today, but time will tell. The retest was holding up nicely, right? And then our 64 pivot was immediately incoming after that pop, right? So they weren't wasting any time. And then, of course, this was the next big indicator for me. Obviously, VIX is super soft. You guys can see we played that monthly, but as soon as the market opened, they dumped, right? And so I already knew being underneath the $20 handle that we were going to get some relief. But when we were starting to pop up in the pre-market, so I'm like, okay, let me just wait and see. But as soon as they dumped, we retested 23. We're starting to move. We're getting above 64. It's on, right? It's on. So my man Sco, who you guys see all the time on the board, these guys hit me up and he's like, Ryan, we shortened 72, right? Immediately. I'm not interested in shorting above 64 until we see 7,004. And if we get a strong 1 hour close up here, I'm trying to buy. Again, my bias shifted immediately. We get new information. We have to pivot, right? So we never get married to a bias. That is just the silliest thing you can do. And that's how you blow accounts. And we certainly don't want to do that. And I'll admit right here, I was wrong with the downside bias pre-open. I'm man enough to admit it. I'm wrong all the time. Just ask my girl. She'll tell you. So you got to be nimble. And the VIX is under our lower pivot now. As you can see, we were really pushing down underneath the 1744. And that gave us insane relief. And as you guys know, we basically ground higher all day long. And I really thought we were going to make it to the 7,004. I actually rested up there like all afternoon thinking that we were going to get there. And when I say resting, I mean just putting a resting order up there and waiting, because that's how I trade. If I have a level I want to get filled at, I just put my order and I wait, right? I let the price come to me. We just wait in the bush like a sniper. That's how we get them. So just to show you this as well, I'm going to pull this up. This was straight out of the weekend review. Check this out. And this is, boom, this is a money shot right here. So SPX never lost the leg. We could continue to move all the way back into our higher untested area of 69.66. That is the massive weekly through 69.85. As you can see right here, that was the 66. And then I had these areas right here at 76. And then 85 was this upper. So it was this green line, this pink line, and this purple line. Just this big, thick area right here, right? And you can even see directly off of this pink line, I had down, right? That's my main area down. The green one was my main area up if we get past that, okay? So I know that you guys are all watching SPX because you wouldn't be trading these plans and not paying attention to the stuff I point out, would you? I highly doubt it. So here we go. Look at this. This is our 69, 77, 76, whatever you want to call it, area. And we basically fumbled up here on SPX today. And they double topped up here, double top, right? And, getting a little resistance. Now, what's going to happen now? It's, we're going to go over that because we've got some time on our hands. The market just ground higher. And I really wanted to take some time to really look at these markets. I actually wasn't around all afternoon. I had to run my pops to the doctor at 1:30, and I got back just in time to get you to the stream. So we're going to go over this stuff together. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. What's up, Dr. UV? Good to see you, buddy. I just met your acquaintance online. It's a pleasure. So let's see what is happening here with this. I hope this is working. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So with that being said, as you can see right here, everything played out exactly how we anticipated, even called the spot up here, and we got our reaction, which was beautiful. And that's about it for the day for now. So what exactly are we going to look for moving forward? Well, this is going to be interesting, like I said, because I haven't gone over it myself, but I think we should. And I'll just show you guys how I do it from the top down. And we're, of course, going to start with the daily time frame. Okay. So this is where I always do my business here. This is my favorite. This in the 4 hour. This is essentially how I pick up all my levels and my trades here. And of course I use the regular trading hours time frame. So here's the deal, guys. We are back above 64. I mean, and we never tested it on the way up. So in my opinion, this level is right now back to being untested, and we can play 69, 64, 50 for the buy. And because once again, it is our big spot. However, I just wanted to point out to you guys, right? So we know we played the big area on what is it called? SPX. But look at this. This is the 15-minute time frame. I'm just going to pull it over for you because this is my small time frame. We came up here and we missed the 04, guys. We missed it by just a little bit. I mean, I waited for this and we pulled back into this weekly 4 hour spot, the whole 9 yards, whatever, but we actually missed this area. And so this is still on my radar, and I do think it can get hit, but I'm just not as confident that they're going to flush this market. I mean, just now, especially with SPX, I mean, after we know that it really hasn't, lost on the leg yet. And really, if they were going to do something, they really had an opportunity to do it today. And so they didn't do it. And so now I'm like, maybe it's not going to happen. Plus, Looking at VIX right now, it is just really, really down there. Now, we know that that can change at any point in time. So the $20 handle was our major above below, and now it's going to be the 1744. But I don't really have much that's untested down here. I would watch this 1651 for a potential reaction. But as long as we stay underneath the 1744 monthly, we're going to continue to get some headwind on the some tailwind on the ES, excuse me. So I just wanted to show you how this level at 04 is still very much untested. And I would look for a potential reaction here. But again, I'm just not so confident that this is actually going to be like the end all be all level. But I will say this from my perspective, okay, from the way that I trade, all right, this 04 really does make all the difference in the world. This is my current leg down right now. I don't know why my pen never works when I get on here with you guys. It really just hates the stream. I don't know. So let me try this again. So this leg down right here, this is our big leg down right now. So we need to get back above 7,450 in order to move to the all-time high. And you're probably looking at this like, of course, Ryan, it's right there. Of course you do. Yeah, but guys, this is the inception of the move down. And so it's really important that this either closes on the daily above this, and if it doesn't, it could really come down pretty good. So what we're going to do is use 64 as our main above below. Now, what I truly think can happen is 64 can play and can take us back to the 7,004. Okay. If that happens, you know, there's two sequences in which this could go, in my opinion, right? So right now, looking at SPX looks insanely bullish because we never really lost on any time frame. Let me just go ahead and show you. We talked about this in the weekend review. I try to pull this, you know, make this make sense for you guys here, but this is the big leg up right here on SPX. Let me show you. This is our leg up to the all-time high. Okay. We never lost support. We never closed below this close down here, which means the support stayed intact, which truly means if they want, they can make a new all-time high. This was my main major shoulder right here on SPX, and it didn't send us down. So unless it just happens in the overnight, I don't think it's going to happen now. Okay. So I really want to start looking for more longs. I'm putting all the little pieces of the puzzle together. And this is really going to help you guys when we come out in the morning with the trade plan. So that you really understand the context behind this. Okay. So hopefully my pen works. Here we go. Boom. So here's our leg down for this bad boy right here. We need to get above this 04 in order to move up here. Otherwise, I do truly think that we can come down and play 64 now and go. But 64 is now going to be even more important than ever because now that we've closed above 64, if we move below this level, like truly move below it, I've really got nothing until 69.12, which is pretty far. It's 50 points, right? It's 52 points actually. So with that being said, and I don't even love that level. Like I would be scared to buy below 64. I truly am, like this level for me is a monster. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys on the 4 hour what this looks like, just so we can get a good feel for this. Here's my 4 hour, right? So look how many times this level has played here, guys. Boom, 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 right? Boom, boom, all over here. If I move this over to the left, you can see just how important this level is above below. So many touches. It's absolutely insane. And then we've got some real support here now. We got some real support here. We've got some real support here. It's an untested daily. I do truly believe that we can pull back into this and move higher. So we're going to use this moving forward. And we just really we got danger close to this 04. Now that doesn't mean that they won't go up and hit it and still react. And they might even do it in the overnight. It's certainly possible. But again, looking at SPX, looking at VIX, I think we can probably make a new all-time high, just to be honest. You know, this is pulling up the ETH weekly. I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about here. So this right here, and I talked about this in the weekend review, this level right here, this 69, 64, this was my major level. We swept these lows. We obviously did it in the overnight session, and then they just rammed it up everybody's ass. And then you can see how right here, this is the spot. So now that we're above all this, this is pretty much our make it or break it. But given all the context that I've thrown out, I really just think that this is possible to continue to keep pushing. And that wouldn't surprise anybody, right? I mean, we know we're bullish as hell. We know that I've put out so many posts regarding, you know, things that, you know, give us a good indication that we're going to continue to put up serious gains over the next year. And it's possible. And yes, I did put out another post that talked about how we have a 70% chance of a fall. And that is still relatively possible. But again, this market pulls back and then they just squeeze the bejesus back up. I mean, a 200-point squeeze was like, I mean, that was just insane, right? They just reversed like 3 days worth of love, with a bear love in a day. So it was insane. So with that being said, that's what I'm looking at here. Also, another thing that I really, really look at, guys, and this is going to be really interesting for you. I pulled this up in the Discord room today. You know, again, I'm a huge market profile guy. I use this to figure out where we're at in value, what market inefficiencies we're looking at. And this market right now has a massive inefficiency. And it is where's my pen at? Where'd it go? We have this massive selling tail that has not been cleaned up. Markets do not like single prints, and it's not single prints. This is actually an inefficient market. Coming from the market maker background, I know for a fact that they don't like inefficiencies. We always had to go back and test these areas. This is a part of auction theory, okay? So this isn't a myth. This isn't some bullshit. This is actually how the markets work. It is how they determine fair value. And if this price was skimmed over just one time, they will always go back and check this price, okay? That's why people always say, oh, gaps get filled, this and that. I mean, that's not necessarily true, but these type of market inefficiencies always get fixed. I mean, look at this. This was another one, right? They ended up fixing that. This was another one. They ended up fixing that here. I mean, these type of things get cleaned up. We actually have another one down here, which will get cleaned up, okay? So with that being said, we have some excess, what I call excess, all the way up to 70-14, okay? So keep that in mind. The other big thing is right now, look at this profile, right? This is an extremely imbalanced profile. We have a massive value area low, and we have no value area high, right? So right now, this market, today was extremely imbalanced due to the squeeze. And the way I've measured this right now is I show that we could possibly come to 70-43. I mean, 70-43 literally puts us at an all-time high. I was just looking at it today. I'm like, this market is potentially setting up to make new highs. Look at that, 70-43, right? Insane, right? Like I didn't make that number up. I just measured the lower value area, stacked it on top, and that's what you got. That's how you figure out what a bullish imbalance, how you measure a bullish imbalance. I mean, it's not magic, it's just math. And once again, it just happened to line up with our previous all-time high. So it's crazy. This market is just, man, it's just crazy. So again, they are squeezing to bejesus. I don't know anybody who's been trying to short this has just been, their ass has got to be bleeding because it's just brutal. And today they picked up right where they left off. We had negative 25% volume most of the day, which means we had that low volume, slow grind. And guys, I have talked about this 100 times. When we are in a low volume regime, right? When you're in low volume, which generally happens when you're extremely close to all-time highs, you never want to fade trend. You just never do. And because we're trading the indices, the trend seems to always be up, at least most of the time. And so we had these low, slow volume grinds, which we saw today. I mean, they just pushed so hard today. There was barely any rotation until we got to the top. And a lot of that had to do with no volume. And a lot of that's algorithms, et cetera, et cetera. And it's just how the market works. So if you guys ever come in the market, you see the plans. One of the things I always talk about in the very, very beginning is what our relative volume looks like in our expected range. Pay attention to that. That is really important for how you're going to understand the context of the day, right? So we would generally get the most of our move in the morning. And then after that, we still had a lot of range left. I mean, check this out. This was insane. We actually had an RTH range. Let me blow this up for you so you can see this. We had an RTH range, expected range of 91 points today. I couldn't believe it. I when this thing powered up, I'm like, 91 points, Jesus Christ. But look, they actually did 76 points out of the 91 points. And that was on 25% relative low volume, negative volume. So here's how we figured that out. Let me just show you how this works. And it's, again, this is not brain surgery, guys. It's simple math, right? So you go 91.3%. That's how that was our expected range. And we knew we had 25% negative volume. So you take 25% off, so times 0.75, 68 points, right? So that we roughly had a 70-point range today. We did 76. I mean, this is how you figure this stuff out. This is why I put this stuff out to you guys. Sometimes you got to do the math on your own. I'm sorry, but I hope that this is all you guys are taking all this in, because this is stuff that I am teaching you to beat the learning curve that took me years to figure out. And it's like simple stuff, but you know what? If you don't know, you don't know, right? And that's why I make jokes all the time about how it's so easy a caveman can do it, because it's kind of true. But again, like, if you don't know, you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. So with that being said, I'm glad I could help you guys out. And really, a lot of this has to do with the love that you've shown me over the weekend, between the incredible amount of views, likes, and retweets of the weekend review. You guys reaching out and asking me about my pops, which was awesome. It means so much to me, you guys. And then I got a message this morning saying we're in the top 100 of the Substack finance. I mean, all these things came together, and my heart was beating for y'all. So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to cut this here. We're at 30 minutes. I will see you guys in the morning for the trade plans at 8:30. Also, same time, same channel for the post-market breakdowns tomorrow. I'll be here at 5 o'clock, 5 and 5:30. And, hey, follow, retweet, all that's good stuff. And, if you're not a subscriber, I suggest you do. I don't know if you know this, but this costs $2.50 a trading day. It is so worth it. It's pathetic. If you don't make that, if you don't make 1 point in a month, I'll be damned. So anyways, you guys have a fantastic week and a fantastic evening, and I will see you tomorrow, and together we'll conquer the markets. Cheers.